Why do I always tell you this? If you want to upgrade your life, you must upgrade your identity. And here's how we're going to do that. Now, just picture this, okay? Just imagine. What do I mean by identity? This is so important. And by the way, we got to start somewhere, okay? So now I want you to imagine, picture this, okay? Imagine that you have to walk into a very important room with some very important people, okay? Whoever they are, whoever that important room is, the boardroom, the classroom, the courtroom, the ballroom, whatever room it might be, okay? And I want you to imagine you are walking in there feeling insecure, feeling shy, feeling inferior, feeling, oh my goodness, everybody else is much smarter than me. Everybody else is much better than me. They are so much further along than me. Who do I think I am? What if I'm not as smart as I think I am? What if they make so much more money? In other words, you walk in there feeling so small, so insignificant, like you just want to crawl into the earth. Imagine you walk into a room like that. And now watch this person move about. Notice their posture. Notice their breathing. Notice the way they may or may not have eye contact. Notice whether there's a sparkle in their eyes or not. Notice the way that person carries themselves. Notice their moves. Now listen to this person, should they even be willing to open their mouth. Listen to their voice. Listen to their tonality. Notice what they sound like. And notice what that person might be, yes, you, right? That version of you, what they might be feeling like. And by the way, keep in mind, our energy is infectious either way. We affect and infect people with our energy. Like it or not, that's just a fact as human beings. And so when we walk into a room like that, we will impact people a certain way. And so I'm just wondering, do you think that as this little church mouse, do you think that you might get your way? Do you think that you might get the attention you deserve and desire? Do you think that you might get the recognition and the respect that you deserve to get? Not to mention the promotion, the opportunities, the raise and the praise. Exactly. And the truth is that room doesn't care. Doesn't care about your past, doesn't care about your trauma, doesn't care about your personality, doesn't care about what excuses you have, doesn't care. Neither here nor there. They just don't. They don't care what excuses we have. It's like the room does not care. And the people in that room will respond to your energy. And so do you think that you might be able to pull people toward you, that people might automatically gravitate toward you, or that perhaps they might feel not so comfortable in your presence? Now, how do I know this? Because I was that person for the majority of my life, and it wasn't fun, and it wasn't pleasant, and I often found myself lonely and alone, and I don't recommend it. Shifting your identity has to start here. I want you to imagine, like clear the screen, make it black, let it disappear, let it fade out into the background, throw it over the horizon for it never to be seen. Because this time, I want you to imagine you walk into that room as the first class, world class, creme de la creme version of you. Yes, the Hollywood Oscar-winning performance version of you. And this time, I want you to imagine if you could be any which way as this best version of you. Remember, identity upgrade. That means you walk into that room, you are the boss. You know what you want, whether you are a lady or a man, doesn't matter. You're still the boss. You own the room. You walk into that room because you know you have a mission, you have a passion, you have a purpose, you know what you want, you know why you want it. Not that it's anybody's business, but it's your business. And I want you to imagine you walk into that room like you own the room. And everybody knows it. Why? Because they can sense it. How? Because of your energy. And you haven't even said a word yet. Mm-hmm. And when you say a word, they will hear it. It will resonate. It will move people. They will listen. In fact, they will hang on to every word you have to say. And notice when you can be like that, the presence, how you carry yourself, not with bravado, with egotism, with self-absorbed, pompous, boisterous loudness. No. With grace and with elegance and confidence. Notice your posture. The way you move, the way you carry yourself. Notice the way your shoulders might be feeling. Notice the gaze in your eyes, that sparkle in your eyes that impacts and affects every other eyes in the room. It's undeniable. Listen to the sound of your voice, the tone, the pauses, the thoughtfulness. You give yourself time to think before you speak. And notice what that feels like when all eyes are on you and you still feel comfortable. You still feel in control of you. Notice what that feels like. When you can stand in your own shoes, grounded, centered, strong, and firm, unapologetically, rejection-proof. We all know. People look at us a certain way. They try to trigger us a certain way. They might object to certain things. They may not like us. It's called life. None of that bothers you. You cannot get entangled by these distractions because you're on a mission. You cannot get distracted by these things, the naysayers, the energy drainers, the battery robbers, the people that just make comments that it's just like, what do you want? Like, are you kidding me? Like, is this the best use of your time? Like, you at best, you amuse yourself. So you know there are going to be people in that room that don't like you. You don't care. You're not there for those people. Those are not your people. Notice what that's like for you when you can be like that. That's what I'm talking about in regard to identity shift. Now let's take this to another level. Think about archetype. What archetype are you when you are like that? What do you become? Do you become a lioness? Do you become a warrior? Do you become the king or queen? Do you become a magician? What's the archetype? The symbolism, right? It could be an animal, could be a spirit, something, could be some mythology. It doesn't matter, because again, it's none of my business, but it's your business in your own head. And it's all an inside job. But when you can identify the identity, who you really are, and you can begin to show up like that, remember, everybody in the room will know it. But it's not their job to convince you. It's your job to convince them. In fact, something like this doesn't even require convincing, because you do it automatically with your energy. And this is what I teach my clients. Instead of staying stuck and feeling insecure and inferior and feeling small and feeling stuck and who do I think I am and imposter syndrome, no, okay, that's not gonna fly in a room like that, and you know it. Because we as human beings, we can sniff that out easily and quickly. And therefore, we become chopped liver. And I don't want that for you. This is what I mean about you have to shift your identity. You have to. Well, you don't have to anything. I'm not here to tell people what they have to or have to not do. It's none of my business. But if you want to upgrade your life, if you want to get to the next level, if you want to experience more joy, more fun, more happiness, you get more respect from people, better recognition, you want to get that promotion, you want to get that raise, you want to enjoy yourself in a completely different, then this is where I would start. Get clear, right? Who do you need to become? And what part of you do we get to, I don't even want to call it buried, because guess what? That part of you can still serve you in a big way. Even if it only serves you as a reminder of, hey, you know what? I don't want to be like that ever again. For me, that's how it works. And anytime I see somebody like that, I don't judge them or blame them or shame them, but it's just another reminder. It's like an anchor. It's like, oh man, yeah, that reminds me. I used to be like that. So that person literally becomes a warning sign. A warning sign is like, don't you dare go back to that. That was you, served you really well. So I kind of integrate it as a reminder, right? As a, hey, that's in the past, no problem. But if you want to upgrade, update your life, this is what will change everything for you. Now, I get it. This takes a bit of practice. Before we even practice, first we need to get clear. What do you want? Who do you want to be? What does that look like? What does that sound like? What would you be experiencing in your life for you to know that you have reached your goals and the things you want, right? So we need to start there. Then we get to build this archetype, this identity, this persona. This is the real you, quite frankly. This is that higher version of you, the higher self. Now you can begin to practice. And any room you get to walk into, whether it's the Starbucks, whether it's the bus, whether it's your own car, whether it's any room you walk into, you get to practice this identity. And and obviously there's layers to this that I'm happy to share with you so that you can, you know how they say perfect practice makes perfect. I don't like the word perfect, but certainly we need efficient practice, right, Gunny? We need practice that has the right steps, because like even Michael Jordan said, what good is it if you keep practicing basketball if nobody taught you that there are certain nuances, that there are certain specific strategies, certain specific moves and motions on how to become a phenomenal, excellent basketball player. And just like that, any craft, whether you want to get better at speaking, you want to get better at piano playing, whether you want to get better at dog training, there are nuances. And unless somebody teaches you that, then all the practice in the world is useless, because then we're just practicing more bad habits. And I don't want that for you. So I already gave you a couple of them, right? To really make it a what do you see, what do you hear, what do you feel, so that you can actually embody this persona and become this version of you. And then before you know it, in your reality, you get to experience that. So I hope you had a lot of fun with this exercise. And I know the first part wasn't pleasant, but I wanted to give you the contrast, right? Because remember, we teach people how we want to be treated. And the minute you show up and you teach people, they will treat you the way you taught them. So fantastic opportunity. See you next time.